Hey everybody, welcome to my video. This is the third time I've tried to do this video. The last one I got part of the way through it and my dog decided he wanted to throw up. I paused the video and I went to restart it and I hit the end button instead. Whatever. So let me see if I can retrack what I was saying before. Okay, this message is in two parts. The first part we have to get through to get to the second part. So, and everything that I'm saying is hypothetical. I'm not pointing fingers at you or saying this is happening or whatever. Just, it's a scenario. So, as a parent, your kid comes home from school and they tell you that they got beat up today. A bunch of kids ganged up on them and beat them up. And they're crying, they're upset, all that kind of stuff. Well, as a parent, you get upset, you get angry. You go to school, you're ready to choke somebody. Probably not literally, but you wish you could. So anyway, as a parent, you're upset. Well, as you're talking to the principal, the teacher, school bus driver, whoever, you find out that your child has been stealing lunch from half the kids in class all year. Now, whether your kid eats it, throws it away, just destroys it, whatever, you find out that your kid is taking food from half the class and has been doing it all year. So half the class decided they've had enough and they ganged up and they beat him up because he wouldn't stop doing it. Now, you're either the kind of parent that's going to go home and punish your child and apologize to all the other parents, or you're going to be the one that goes home and says, well, it's all those kids' problem. It's all those kids' fault. Those kids did something to my child to make him do that. Either way, you have both extremes in society today. Or you have your best friend comes to you and tells you that your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, has been cheating on you. Well, you get mad and you unfriend your friend because they just lied to you. How could they possibly tell you that kind of thing? Why would they turn against your partner? Well, you go on your life, still not talking to your friend, your best friend, and down the road you find out, you catch your partner cheating on you. Now, you're either the kind of person that's going to make an excuse and let them get away with it and just keep rolling with it, or you're going to tell them, basically, kiss your butt and you're out, because you're not going to deal with that anymore. Either way, we have both going on in society today. Again, these are just scenarios. It's hypothetical situations. On a bigger scale, it's happening to all of us. Now, how you choose to take it is up to you. Because for years, even back before you were born, your parents, your grandparents, their parents, all hundreds, thousands of years, we've been lied to, cheated on, abused, whatever. Some of us have made excuses and we've blown it off. Some of us are like, no, that's not right. And we've unfriended whoever told us. Some of us go, oh my gosh, yeah. And we get it. And we're going away from that situation. Or we make excuses for it and we keep allowing the behavior to happen. Either way, it's going on. Now, that's like phase one. So think about it. Because the other thing, you as a human being, down deep, we want to trust. We want to believe in whoever it is we trust and we love. And, whether it be your partner, your parent, your kid, your government, your church, doesn't matter. Down deep, we want to trust these people and never think that they're going to lie to you. But it's happening everywhere. So now that does not mean everybody is lying. No. But on the bigger scale, it's happening everywhere. Some of us, again, have just blown it off and we're like, no, that couldn't happen. They'd never lie to me. They'd never cheat on me. Some of us have gone, maybe they are. Let me check this out. And we find out that it's true. Now, regardless, we come back and sometimes we go, oh my gosh, how could I have been so stupid? How could I have been so gullible? How could I have not have seen this? Why did I allow this to happen for so long? Don't beat yourself up. You can't change the past. All you can do is change from today, from this moment forward. That's all you can change. And all you can change is you. So don't look at yourself as a loser or, how could you be so stupid or, gullible or whatever. It happens because nobody wants to doubt somebody that they love or they respect. So now moving forward, again, some people are in the complete denial mode and they don't want to see it. They don't want to, it doesn't matter what you tell them. They're not going to believe you that somebody's lying to them or cheating on them. They'll get it one day. They'll see it one day. And then you've got some people that see on one level that, how do I say this without getting knocked off of YouTube? The people basically running the countries, all of them, some of us see, and some of us don't agree with like the taxes and everything else that's just corrupt. Some of us see that, and we know that. Some of us are taking action. Some of us are just like, well, what do I do? And some of us see, and then, so that's two levels. Now you've got the third level of where some of us have seen, even on the bigger picture, that the, stop please. Sorry. Cat. Religion has lied to us. Again, some people are like, no, that couldn't possibly happen. They wouldn't lie to us. They wouldn't cheat on us. They wouldn't be doing these bad things. Some of us have checked it out. Some of us see it. Some of us see the bigger picture. But again, even when you are at the level where a lot of us are, where we see the bigger picture, the spiritual picture, and we see the lies and things like that, and then you go back and you try to tell somebody that's not there yet, they might see that the other corruption, but they refuse to see that there could be something else. And the things that they've been taught all their lives have been a lie. They'll get it one day or they won't. And some of them, you know, when you try to tell them, you've lost friends, you've lost family, you've lost people that didn't want to believe you. It's okay. It happened for a reason. Don't hold anything against the person that doesn't believe you. They just aren't ready to see it yet. They're not ready to acknowledge the fact that their kid is the bully. They don't want to see that, or their partner is the one that's been cheating on them. You know? So, and some of them want to play victim because they're still thinking that their kid is the one that got beat up. They're not seeing the bigger picture. They're not seeing why their kid got beat up, but it's everybody else's fault that they picked on my child or my child got beat up. Or, yeah, my husband cheated on me, but it's that bitch's problem, or it's her fault. She shouldn't have thrown herself at my husband. Really? Or that guy shouldn't have thrown himself at my wife. My wife wouldn't have cheated on me if it wasn't for her. That's happening. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming, everybody else because you're in the situation you're in, because you got lied to or cheated on. Start taking responsibility for yourself. And it's not, and I'm, for those of us that are awake, we're going to see a huge, because there's going to be a lot of people that go into that, oh my God, how could I have been so gullible? How could I have been so stupid? How could I have allowed this to happen? We're all human. Nobody wants to see that they could possibly be wrong. Because nobody wants to be wrong. But only when you think there's a possibility that you could be wrong, there could be more to what you've been told, will you wake up? Or will they wake up? And those of us that have gotten it, even on the bigger level, the people that see some of the corruption, but they don't see all of it, and they're not willing to accept that what the church taught them was by, and it's not necessarily the preacher's fault. The preacher went to school. He learned what he learned. It's not his fault. But, you know, you have to be open to more. Because think about it. When you were 2, did you know everything you know now? No. When you were 5, did you know everything you knew now? No. You learned because your mind was open. You were open to learning bigger things, better things, new things. At what point did you go, you know what? I've learned enough. What I know is what I know, and that's all I'm willing to accept. Why? We should always be open to learning more. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but just be open to it. But a lot of people aren't. They get to a point, and if it doesn't resonate, if it's not what they've been taught, or it goes against what they've learned, they think you're lying to them. Your son has been stealing my daughter's lunch all school year. When she kicked his butt, he deserved it. My son would never do that. Yeah, okay. You just don't want to accept the fact that a daughter kicked your son's butt. But that's where we are. Not all of us, but that's where some people are. That's how ridiculous it is. On a bigger level, they refuse to see that they were gullible or they were weak. We were all there once. All of us. But we have accepted the fact that there may be something more. And maybe my son is an ass and he deserved to be kicked. And good for her for kicking his butt. It taught him a lesson. But that's where, like I said, that's where we are in this world. Don't beat yourself up because you were lied to and you believed the lie, or you were cheated on and you refused to see it for a while. Understand that now you see it and accept it and run with it. And now what do you do with it? So now getting to the next phase of what I want to talk about. When you can accept that and you can open up to the fact that there could be something bigger, understand, like I said before, you can only change you. You can only fix you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to fix you. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and something came out. They were talking. I can't say what they were talking about on here, but I told her. I said, people, because what was it? A couple days ago, there was a huge announcement that Trump was going to make, and everybody was getting excited about the huge announcement that Trump was going to make, and all this kind of stuff. And yes, I'm not saying that it's not great, but if it's not what you want to hear, people get upset because they think, oh my God, Trump is our answer. Trump is going to save us. Trump is going to do magnificent things. And I'm not saying he's not, but if you're not happy where you are now, you're not going to be happy when Trump wins the next election or Trump takes over and Trump changes all these things. You're still not going to be happy. You have to be happy now. You have to accept responsibility for you now. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go change all the laws and all that kind of stuff. But the laws and all that kind of stuff is irrelevant. You have to find the peace and the happiness within you. You have to save you. Because Trump comes back. Yes, he lowers gas prices. He takes care of the border problem. He takes care of all the corruption and all that kind of stuff. If you're still angry at somebody for doing something before to you, guess what? That's not going to go away. You're still going to be angry. You might have more money in your pocket, but you're still angry with that other person. You're still carrying that anger and that resentment and that hatred. And guess what? Something else is going to come into your life to make it worse. If Jesus Christ comes in right now to save the world, and you're still angry because somebody cheated on you before, or somebody treated you like shit, or somebody did something, stole from you, lied to you, whatever, if you're still hating that, hating them, resenting them, blaming them, not willing to see that you brought this into your own existence, maybe to teach you a lesson or to learn from it, it doesn't matter whether Jesus comes in and saves you or not. You're still going to be angry at that other person. You got to let all of it go. You have to accept responsibility for you. Hold on. Okay, I did it right this time. Had to go shut off my vacuum. Again, you need to get to a place where it doesn't matter what the world situation is like. You have to be happy. That's where I am. It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter what the price of anything is. I'm happy. I don't hold resentment to anybody. I have accepted my past. I've let my past go. I have forgiven everything, including myself. You know, I don't beat myself up and go, God, I was so stupid. How was I so gullible? You know, I remember somebody, I heard a while back, years ago, before they separated from their spouse, they had bought a new house. And they were asked, well, if you were so miserable in your marriage, why did you buy a bigger house? And they said, well, because it was just a better hell. Why do you want to be in hell to begin with? Leave your hell and be happy. I don't care how better hell is, it's still hell. If you're still miserable inside, it doesn't matter who comes into office. It doesn't matter who comes down out of the clouds. It doesn't matter any of it. You're still going to be miserable. Believe it, don't believe it. I speak from experience because I was miserable. And it wouldn't have mattered what happened. It didn't matter who I told how miserable I was. It didn't matter who I told what anybody had done to me. It didn't matter. I still wasn't happy. It still wasn't enough. It wasn't until I decided to take responsibility for me. And I was the only one that could fix me and make me happy. That's the only time, and that's the only way. I'm not relying on anybody else to make me happy. I'm not relying on anybody else to come save me. Because you know what? Whoever's in office is just a thing. Jesus has already come back. He's here. He's already here. He's already saved me. He can save you too. Some of you know it. Some of you already have him in you. And only then, and you guys, if you're there, you get it. You understand what I'm saying. But some people are still living in denial. It doesn't matter whether they're completely asleep, they're at the point where they understand the government's corrupt, or they understand that it's not about organized religion, it's about spirituality and seeing the bigger picture, and that there's more than what we've been taught. And being okay with it. That's the other thing. You know, so go back to what I said originally. Your kid came home and got his ass kicked. Half the girls in class were girls, or half the kids in class were girls. They kicked his ass. Accept it. It's not because you were a bad parent. It happened. Now, what are you going to do from today on? Don't go back and beat up the past. Let it go. Or your spouse cheated on you, or you found out that your parents were cheating on your mom cheated on your dad, or your dad cheated on your mom, or whatever. So what? Let it go. Everybody else's behavior doesn't impact you. Only your behavior impacts you. So we have to accept our responsibility for our own behavior. And it's hard to accept for some. It's harder to accept for some people because their ego gets in their way. It takes a strong person to face their ego. And if you're running into somebody that's not willing to face their ego yet, that they're still letting their ego control them because they refuse to see what you're saying, it's okay. They're still living in denial. They're still living in fear of the truth because they don't want to accept the fact that maybe they were lied to all their lives. Or maybe they need to accept responsibility for themselves. And they've brought this situation into their existence. You know, I'm not saying, this week, just because I'm happy doesn't mean stuff still doesn't happen. What was it? I don't know. The other day it was like 4 different things happened. And I was like, oh, my motorcycle. I went down to the garage to start my motorcycle. Slam dead. It didn't even go click, 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 click. Nothing. I was like, what the heck? So my motorcycle was dead. Went to plug it in. The battery tender was toast. So I went up to get a new battery tender. Found out that it wasn't even working because I ended up calling the shop. I'm like, what the heck? So I took my car to the garage. I jumped my bike, got it running. The battery tender, and I let it run for a while. The battery tender still wasn't picking it up. I called the shop and I'm like, what the heck? And he said, well, there's a fuse in the line. So I had to take my seat off to get to the battery to replace the fuse. And then I started my bike and I ran it up my driveway back down to the garage and I went to back it back into my space. Reverse isn't working now. And I'm like, it was one thing after another. But did I let it get to me? No. I just laughed them all off. I replaced the fuse, put the seat back. Meanwhile, I told the shop, I was like, when I took the seat apart, I was like, you know what? You couldn't pay me enough to work on a motorcycle because taking this seat off was a bitch. And I said, God's going to have to put this seat back. Well, guess what? It went back together easier than it came apart. So God put the seat back together. Bike's charged now. It runs great. Reverse is still a problem, but I'll figure it out. It'll be all right. But just because you get in a happy place and life is heaven on earth doesn't mean things still aren't going to happen. It's how you handle them. You just deal with it. It's okay. It's just another thing. And I just laughed it off. I was like, okay, another trip to Walmart. I went to get a battery tender. I had to go back to get a fuse because did I have one? No, that would have been too simple. So, things are still going to happen, but you're not going to get upset. If you're not here, I can help you get here. But you have to want to put in the effort to do it. I can't make you do it. You can't make anybody else do it. But if you literally aren't walking through life and you're happy and things are just great, even when your motorcycle won't start, it's still great. You fix it and you move on. If you're not here, oh my God, I can't tell you what you're missing. It's awesome. Awesome isn't even a big enough word for it. You know? And I'm not done. I'm still, in fact, the next 30 days, I'm taking another class for it to be even better. Yep. So like I said, I can help you get here. It's up to you whether you want to join me or not. So anyway, I hope this makes sense. It was like this morning, these ideas, these thoughts, these things were coming into my head, and I was like, okay, I just have to put this out there, because that's how the world is rolling. And it's not a good or a bad. It's just how it is. It's how you look at it. And if you're willing to accept and work on you, you know, because like I said, you know, people are waiting for Trump to come back into office. It's like waiting for your soulmate to show up so you can be happy. You're not going to be happy when they show up if you're not happy now. Or for you to win the lottery so you feel rich. Money can't buy happiness. Trump going into office, if you're not happy now, you might be a little happy, you might be a little relieved, but you're still not going to be happy if you're not happy now. It's the end of the year. January 1st is right around the corner. It's a new year. Make 2023 your best year yet. Let the past go. You can't go back and fix it or change it. All you can do is make your future brighter and happier and heaven on earth. Nobody can do that for you. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what happens. You have to make it happen. So anyway, like I said, I hope this makes sense. If you have a question, or if I've said this before, but if you want me to help you get there, I'll help you get there. I can't do it for you. Nobody else can either. It doesn't matter how gifted, how talented, how spiritually evolved, how connected they are. So anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I love all of you. It doesn't matter where you are on your path. Doesn't matter. I want everybody to get to this point or even better, because it's amazing. This is where you should be. So anyway, have an amazing day, and yeah, we will talk soon.